Huracan, written by Lance Oren, narrated by Kevin Coffin. Huracan was a Mayan weather god of fierce storms with wind, fire, and torrential rains. This deity supposedly lived in the windy mist above the churning ocean waves and floodwaters. Today, we fear them as hurricanes. Chapter 1. The Gathering of Ships. Harbor of Seville, Spain, 1732. The cool pre-dawn breeze moaned and whistled as a mysterious tapping kept time with the rustling wind. The cool night was releasing its grip and gave way to the red and purple pastel rays of the rising sun. The flaming orange and reddish ball of light rose slowly above the horizon, growing brighter and brighter with each passing moment. The night wind slowly subsided as the solar heat warmed the cool air, and it fell into a gentle breeze, while the eternal orb beamed its majestic rays upon an aquamarine blue ocean. A pair of laughing seagulls rode the rising air currents and passed in front of the bright ball. For an instant, the airborne seagulls cast a black silhouette in front of the fiery orb, displaying an awe-inspiring sight. "Encienda! Encienda los cañones! Fire! Fire the cannons!" yelled the captain of the Capitana. The large iron cannons roared and belched fire as they each came to life in rapid succession. Boom! Thundered the heavy cannons 13 times, belching black powder fire and white, bellowing grayish clouds of smoke as the bolarnos, heavy round limestone cannonballs, whistled through the air and impacted the ocean surface with a violent eruption of ocean spray. One by one, the stone balls missed their target, a small floating oak wine cask 300 yards away. Suddenly, the oak cask exploded into 1,000 splinters of wood and spray as the 13th cannonball hit dead on the target, and the cannon gun crew sent up a cheer of ovation. The proud Spanish captain, Don Rodrigo de Torres, gave a gracious nod and smiled to the triumphant gunners. He yelled new orders to the rowboat crew waiting off the rear stern castle of the magnificent galleon, a safe distance from the cannon fire. "Place another target for this overconfident crew. We shall see if they are as good as they pretend to be," the captain boasted as he turned and winked to his first mate. The small rowboat began to move in the direction of the destroyed cask, and the crew pulled heavily on the oars, rowing to set in place another target for the proud cannon crew. The captain watched as the cannon gunners pulled in their heavy guns, cleaned the bores, reloaded each with black powder and a new practice stone ball, and finished with a touch of black powder in the priming hole. The cannons were again pulled and pushed into position, awaiting the targeting crew to nervously set the next cask, while keeping an eye on the galleon and its guns. Captain Torres turned his attention from the cannon crew and looked up to the reefed sails and the manned crow's nest. He could see the two sailors smiling down at him, and he wondered what was so amusing to them. He thought about climbing up the rigging and joining them so he could get a bird's-eye view of the firing cannons and flying cannonballs, but his fear of heights ended all thoughts of the adventurous ascent. "They're ready, Captain," said the first mate, stepping up alongside. The captain had turned around to view the harbor of Seville and the many galleons anchored offshore. Quite a gathering of ships, he thought to himself. King Felipe V must have something really important brewing within the court walls. "Ship on the horizon, Captain! Approaching off the starboard side of the rowboat!" yelled one of the sailors from high above in the crow's nest. The captain turned at once and faced the targeting rowboat, fixing his gaze on the distant ship. After several moments, the captain spoke up and said, "It's the San Francisco." "How do you know that it is the San Francisco, Captain?" the puzzled first mate inquired. The San Francisco was still some distance away from the Capitana, and sailors strained their eyesight for any recognizable feature of the approaching ship. The magnificent galleon was under full sail and was heading straight for the Capitana, her proud bow rising and falling with the waves as she outraced them and made her own frothy waves to either side of her bow. "It's the San Francisco. I can tell by the way she gracefully glides through the water. Listen, Juan, listen closely, and she will announce her approach," the captain said as he put his hand slowly to his ear. "The San Francisco will sing." "Sing, Captain?" "Yes, she will sing, Juan. The San Francisco carries on her decks 2 special bronze cannons. These cannons were meant for the Nuestra Señora de la Concepción, but she sank beneath the waters with all her treasure and crew in 1656. The mighty bronze